Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah.
Hello everyone, can you hear us well? Like OBS was kicking my ass.
Onde é que você consegue ver se o pessoal tá ouvindo?
Let me know, I'm on with the chat open here. Let me know if you guys can hear me, and also D, if you can just
Yeah,
give it
I'm
a
here, and I
hi.
can hear you in the stream as well.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, it's Renegade. Demetrius is here. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, let us know in the chat if you guys can hear the both of us. Hello, hello everyone. Yeah, we get an okay from Duma and Komodar as well. So we're good to go. Oh, thank God. How's everyone doing? Today we're gonna be talking a little bit more about Genesis City and drawing some sort of a map of the city live as well. I brought in Ren to join us to
Hello.
Yeah, to like give you guys, we'll be chatting a bit about how the city is divided, the neighborhoods, and also like telling a little bit of the lore that we have so far. Without giving spoilers to you about the story, it's gonna be hard. Teresa is asking if I got a haircut. I did. I finally, like, I was trying to grow my hair, but I just couldn't. It's too hot. So I got back to my very, very short hair. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be on the chat. Gus will be drawing, and D, if you want to kick off.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not the right person to do the city.
Yes, you
but
are.
That was what they could get today, so that's why I'm here. Just so you guys know.
Yeah, I guess it's a little insecure just because
we're
more.
This is not my thing.
Yeah, we're more character designers than environment designers, but then like Gus draws like hell, so I'm pretty sure that he'll be doing a great job.
Vai precisar responder o celular para eu poder usar o teclado.
Oh yeah, let me I'll be answering the chat on my phone, and Gus will be using my keyboard to be using shortcuts on Photoshop. So yeah, let's kick this off.
All right. Well, just to do a recap for a lot of folks here who haven't, maybe you're new, maybe you've been a part of the brainstorms, but there are two different ways of looking at this world, right? There's the frontier, which is kind of like the universe, the planet, the realm, so to speak, where these animals and creatures are walking around and living lives. And in the frontier, there's all sorts of places. There's sea places, there's ancient cities, there's forests, there's ruins. But we wanted to work right now in our main city here that we're calling Genesis City, which is a great city name that everyone in the community came up with. We call it Gen City, or the GC if you're from downtown, so to speak. And this is a spectacular city, even without the buildings, because you have this wonderful bay that is where, all the commerce, most creatures, most people, most great cities start off by a river or by an ocean or by a bay. So where this one takes place. And then in the middle of the bay is this mountain structure. And that mountain is not one of those really tall mountains that have like peaks or whatever. It's more like a mountain that still has lots of forest and growth there. And that's in the center of the city. And there's not a lot of what you would call establishments there. Although in the mountains, there's probably some ruins. Maybe there's where some squatters live. Maybe there's some ancient beings that might be there. We don't know. But as far as your normal citizen, that's just like the place you go hiking or the place you might not want to be left alone at night. But on the side of the mountain, it kind of also splits the city, where on the back side of the mountain, you might have some of the poorer neighborhoods. And this is what happens in most societies, where if you're closer to the bay, if you're closer to the beautiful area, that tends to be more upscale. But if you're far away or on the other side of the mountain, that's oftentimes where, a lot more of the working class people are. But you have on the front side of the mountain, maybe some of the high rises and the skyscrapers, and you have some more of the technological zone. And maybe just to the right of the mountain, you might have the university zone and more of the neighborhoods that need to be saved, so to speak. And then as you go down closer to the bay and to the water, you would have this area that has more of a commercial zone. And this is also where the docks might be.
Sorry
No,
for
keep going.
interrupting you,
Yeah.
just because, like, Gus is ADHD.
Yeah, I have no idea where to start. But
Like,
keep going and we'll figure something
just
out.
let us recap a bit. Like, there's a mountain in, like,
Yeah.
the center of the city, and then, like, on the north side, there's like, I think it's Night Apes neighborhood, right?
Yeah, exactly. Night 8 lives more in the gritty street side of things. The place you'd find the graffiti on the walls, but you also find a lot of folks who would be like, the old shop that you go to, that's the mom and pop place that people have been going to for years to get their breakfast. And so there's a charm to that as well, but it's also gritty. It's also super, some things might go down. You got to be tough to live in that neighborhood. But within the toughness, you've got the old grandma who remembers everything that happened in the days before.
So this
And you've
thing
got,
would be kind of like on top of the mountain?
no, the mountain is actually the one place where it kind of peaks out and still is covered with a forest and everything like that. The city is kind of around the mountain on the bottom, like the
Oh,
valley, so
okay.
to speak.
Okay.
Yeah. And the mountain kind of separates. I can even imagine like the mountain separating the affluent side and the more gritty side. And then even thematically, right? Like if it's a sunny day and a beautiful day on the nice affluent side, the mountain literally casts a shadow over on the other side. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, you're like drawing sort of the sort of commerce area over there or whatever. And all of it's kind of surrounded by a bay. I mean, I'm imagining if, when the continent of the frontier was being created, the mountains would jut up and then it would swoop down into the bay.
We were talking about basing Genesis City, like, visually on some real life cities. Like, we were discussing about which city would represent, like, the vibe of Genesis City more. And like, with the mountains and the bay, I think, like, it can actually be inspired in Rio, because, like, if there's a lot of natural landscapes we could like. Rio has like all the environment stuff, like the beach and the bay and the mountains, but also like very urban settings as well. So that might be something cool for us to think about as well.
Yeah, I love Rio. And I also love Cape Town. Has a very similar
Yeah,
vibe with Table Mountain that you can see from a distance, and the mountain itself having its own character. And of course, San Francisco also with the Big Bay, and then they have that park in the middle. And Los Angeles also has like Runyon Canyon and Griffith Park in the center. But certain cities like Los Angeles, now the valley is like becoming a nice place to be.
that's
Um,
true. Yeah.
but and then it swoops down to the ocean.
Yeah. Will we have like some sort of? Is it like a beach city? Not really, right? Like.
I mean, I think there's some areas that you might go to that would be a little bit cool, a little bit laid back beach feel, but it would probably be closer to like a San Francisco where that's more of a subculture, whereas certain cities the beach is like the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this city it would probably be yeah, you can go down to the beach and have like a scene there and have, maybe you're trying to solve a crime and someone is living on a houseboat and in their back room in the houseboat they have all these maps of things they found, the crazy guy who happens to have the right map.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's a very those are very cool references for us to use. I'm thinking like I think I almost gave up a spoiler right now, but but yeah, I'm thinking about like cool landmarks that we could put on the map. Like Gus is drawing like the buildings. Where do you see like the skyscraper more like a commercial? Uh,
Yeah, I would imagine the skyscraper commercial kind of being in between the yeah, pretty much kind of what Gus is doing there. Like as you come off the mountain and you're getting closer to the water, you'd have this sort of an, industrial city downtown vibe because that's the nicest neighborhood. I think about like Barcelona, how they have those certain areas that are super glitzy
yeah,
as you get
that's
closer to
true.
the water.
Let me see. I'm looking up like cool maps to use references.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, like, do you feel like Night Ape, as we're drawing the city on the comic, like Night Ape's neighborhood, it is very vertical as well, but
Hmm.
like a bit more maybe. We were inspiring like his neighborhood a lot in Gotham City, which is
Oh
like
yeah.
so yeah, still very vertical with very tall buildings, but also a bit more. Um, what's the English word for that? Like
Like the projects or something. I don't know.
yeah, I was thinking more about like very urban, like São Paulo or New York, which is
Yeah.
not a lot of green, a lot of graffiti, yeah, a lot of
Where the parks are these like concrete like basketball court parks with like a single
exactly,
tree
yeah.
coming out.
Exactly, and like a bunch, like a bit more of a residential neighborhood where people would commute back and forth, like to the industrial or commercial part of the city, but then go back at night to sleep, to like live their lives. So that would be cool as
Right.
well.
And there was a conversation that we were having back in the day when the brainstorms of this concept of like an Epcot inspired monorail that's like not quite a hyperloop,
Exactly, yeah.
but something that would connect the buildings together. That in Batman Begins, I think they had that sort of monorail system that went into Wayne Enterprises.
Yes, yes,
They
that's
had a whole
great.
set piece on that with him and Ra's al Ghul or whatever. And I
Yeah.
always love those sort of like I don't know if it's
And that's
deco
a
inspired.
yeah, I think that's a good nod to like every I'm thinking like some references, but every sci-fi city has that kind of thing going through like the city like cutting the scenery like with these like huge it's kind of a monorail like we have those in
Yeah,
Chicago if I'm not mistaken like those like a
yeah, the
train that
L.
goes through the city like the buildings and stuff.
Hmm,
So
exactly. And you know, it would be interesting too if on that mountain you kind of threw in like a rundown temple, like an ancient temple that makes people go, I wonder
Yeah,
what's on the
that's the
mountain.
spoiler I was thinking about. Like if I mentioned that, but that's great because it's an important landmark for the city, and yeah, but will you keep people guessing what it is?
Why is that thing there? You know?
Right? So
I love the chat about the trains that the villains keep blowing. You gotta have something, for the villains to do. I'm
yeah,
sure that there's like, the guy who engineers the train is just like, gosh, I gotta fix the train again.
again. What's going on with these guys?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Why
you
are they
really want to
trying?
rebuild it?
Yeah. And you can see, like, I can imagine a lot of patching, like, in the rails, like, some part that, like, it's new, like, some, I don't know, wooden blocked up things that were, like, they last blown up, and then, like,
Yeah.
it's, all patchwork there. But the thing, like, about the trains being blown up is that we shared a few backgrounds for Twitter banners and for the PFPs, and like I tried to take off all the characters from the scene, so we don't like spoil the story itself. But they are all taken from the comic, so they are all actual backgrounds from the comic itself, which is like incredibly done by Raphael, our
Oh,
background and
nice.
colorist. And yeah, there are some explosions that people are like, oh, what are those? And I'm like,
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
guessing because I'm not giving that.
Somebody asked about the remnants of where the villains burned the forest to the ground, and this is something when I lived in Cape Town in like 2009, how they like took over areas and built a stadium or something. And I wonder if like that might have happened, like if a certain part of the forest was burnt down and they tried to repurpose this flat area for, some sort of stadium where they would play our version of, I don't know, our version
The
of soccer,
game,
whatever that would be, or
I
maybe,
see.
you
Yeah,
know,
a training field perhaps because we're thinking
yeah,
about doing like a superhero school at some point where like the
right,
narratives will be like training with some one-on-one teachers and kind of like a little bit inspired by what's the name, like Boku no Hero, in
My
English?
Hero.
My Hero Academy, right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so yeah, having like a playing training field, which was originally taken down, like a forest taken down by the villains, would be a really cool storytelling, actually.
Oh, that's great. Did you see up in the chat about maybe the a little like villain's lair that's inside of the mountain on one side or something like that?
Oh, that's a great idea. Like a cave, like a very yeah,
Exactly.
pointy rocks and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, let me. Yeah, this is like the hardest thing I ever had to do. So
But it's looking great. You're doing.
It is looking fantastic.
Yeah. I told him like there's no way you can mess it up because you
Yeah,
draw like
there
a
is, yeah.
crazy person. My NFH Academy, yeah, something like that. We were thinking like while we develop like the main storyline and like the main characters that we're creating stuff for, we still have to imagine like the whole environment, the whole story, culture, and the whole thing around that doesn't revolve only around the main characters that we're currently telling the story. So yeah, we've been thinking a lot about a lot of things. So yeah, the school is one of the things. Like yeah, like the heroes have alpha, the villains have alpha, but how do they learn to harness the power and hone into their own abilities? Like, and since like every character has their own kind of power, we're developing like different types of elemental magic and like mind magic and telekinesis and stuff. So how would they learn by themselves? Would they have mentors or like a school in an urban setting? We thought would be like the best way to explore that, which is yeah, so many options for us to do spin-offs and like other stories from now on as well. So
Oh yeah. And I can also imagine like let's say you go so far at the university and there's like this one prodigy and the professor there can't teach that student anymore.
Yeah.
So the student has to leave Genesis City and go to like some deep
That
forest
is
culture.
great. Yeah, that's great. And also like dropouts that decide to go their own way. Also,
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of thing. That would be awesome to explore as well.
It's like the Knights of Ren, but not, or something. Anyway, that's more
Yeah,
Star
Drew
Wars culture.
mentioned the city should be built monkey friendly. Yeah, maybe some monkey bar type ways traveling around. That's a great idea. That's some great visuals to figure out. Yeah.
I wonder if like some ropes would be connecting the buildings, and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I always imagine too, like how every great city has that statue, whether it's the Christ the Redeemer or the Statue of Liberty, or
Like a
Landmark.
iconic landmark.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, that exists.
Yeah, aside from the temple thing, we were thinking about doing that kind of thing where we have like god statues and like heroes and that kind of duality of like I'm trying to not give away the story. It's really hard. But yeah, statues of heroes and gods and villains for those who worship that kind of thing would be really cool. That's for sure.
Right on.
You guys got any more of those chill music? We do, but last time I tried to find like a live stream last week. I tried to put on like some music from like a allegedly free for use, like for live streams from Spotify, and it got muted either way. So this time, since we would be talking all the time, I didn't manage to find another one. But Gus told me that he still has that. It's lo-fi, like a lo-fi playlist thing.
Yeah.
I can do like
So-
a beatbox in the mic while you're drawing.
Yes, that's great. Nice. If Gus wasn't drawing, I would ask him to join you with his guitar sounds.
Yeah, that's pro level.
Nice. That's pro stuff. That's great. Yeah, we kind of like spoiled everyone with the possibility of live music when Dewey was drawing and Gus was playing guitar in the background. Now we'll have to do like just a jam session on another live stream.
I can dust off my saxophone and
Ooh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's great.
but it'll be like, you remember back in the day when all the 80s music just randomly had a saxophone player playing for no reason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of that guy?
Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Yeah.
All
So
elevators had that kind of music.
yeah, that's when I had to hang it up, when my saxophone became elevator music.
Oh no! Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll just listen to Drake or whatever now at this point.
But we'll get it back. We'll get it back with NFH live sessions for sure.
Exactly.
You have to
One
make
thing-
a saxophone player 101.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. They always say like the audience falls in love with the drummer but goes home with the saxophone player because
Yeah.
the drummer takes too long to pack up.
I love that. That's great. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, they were like, I can't wait any longer. She's still loading up the bass drum.
I love this.
One thing that we were talking about too is like having this sort of warehouse, district where, all the industrial zone would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the industrial one, like having like these low buildings with those like the smoke coming out of it, very iconic stuff.
Yeah.
And we also have docks where some of the stuff happens
We can't,
on
maybe
the
the docks
comic.
can be kind of here.
Yeah, docks we could put like those, how do they call those, where you transport a bunch of stuff. Como chama esse?
It's
Uh, ugh, I hate forgetting words all the time.
I forget words all the
Those
time.
containers, is that it?
Oh, shipping containers.
Shipping
Yeah.
containers, yeah, that's it. We can throw a bunch
Oh
of
yeah.
those, yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
Yay.
This is looking amazing, guys. It's just wonderful to see you
Yeah.
guys work.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like
You're rocking it.
trying to.
No, it's perfect. I'll think about like painting that afterwards as well. Just like doing some splashes of watercolor just to give it like a look and feel, but also keep the old map look like vibe.
Yeah.
Banana Man.
Oh, somebody talked about the Muscle Beach.
Yeah. Bad Pixel is the one who's the biggest fan of Banana Man I've seen. Airing as well. Impy, sorry for doxing people. So it's a good conceptual work on the fly is awesome. Yeah, I love seeing it too. Like I watch live streams from other artists like all the time, and it makes me inspired as much as it makes me like very depressed about not being able to do
Right.
that at all.
Okay, so we got Banana Man.
Yes, Banana Man.
And just looking at the map, I keep thinking about things like, in London they have that Ferris wheel or whatever, the
Yes.
London Eye or whatever it's called.
That's great.
These sort of like, I don't know, things that can be attacked by villains. I have no idea.
Yeah. Like it's a very good like visual to have like a roller coaster and a Ferris wheel rolling, like taking down stuff from the city.
Right.
And oh yeah, we could do here like behind the forest the school like with the
Oh, the university?
yeah like the flattened like blown up part of the forest like a clearing or something.
Oh, yeah. With like the skinny stick trees that exist once it's been burned.
We also have to. Did you do the Ferris wheel already? Broken down by the villains. That's great. I was thinking about like Genesis City is still gonna be a bit futuristic, but not all the way like cyberpunkish.
Yeah.
But still will have like there's a bit of a nod to futuristic technology with some of the artifacts and props we've designed so far. So yeah, I think like that building on the left of the mountain and the how do you call it, railroad? No, monorail thing. Yeah, it gives that vibe, though it's very like urban and stuff. I
Oh,
love
totally.
it.
This is looking great, Gus.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
The school, you guys.
Just do like a big, it's kind of like if you're thinking they're training warriors, we could do like a more simple design, like a kind of a military school kind of building, like a more squarish Bauhaus kind of looking thing.
Mm.
Let me see on the chat. I'm so fixed on the designs that I'm sorry for ignoring you guys. Banana Man's training, Commodore to get ripped. Yeah, he'll be training everyone, guys. He's gonna we'll have the school where the heroes train, and we will also have like Banana Man, so you can lift weights while in vacation and stuff, because everyone's very excited about that. They get like very inspired by his looks and how do you say, like personal trainer vibes. We are so close to each other. You can consider that this is like, if we consider this as a map and we have like the landmarks all blown up so we can, have the iconic, it's not like a
Yeah,
one.
it's not on scale.
Yeah, on scale,
That's-
exactly. Yeah, it's not everything so close and like proportionally correct. It's just like where things are more situated on the city. Otherwise, you can see that like the school Gus is designing right now is like almost half the size of the mountain. But then when you'd be seeing like the map, you'd be like locating it by distance and not necessarily by size. So yeah, this is kind of like the vibe we're thinking of. Banana Man statue should be in the city square called the Hammock. I love this. Yes, like the beach zone would be called the Hammock from now on.
Oh, that's great.
The one on one, the only ones alive of their species, like panda tigers, croc, other normal citizen species like generatives, monkeys, and bulls. So our main idea was that it would be like a Zootopia kind of city, right? Like all kind
Yeah.
of animals and stuff, and yeah, you'd see like they walking around and being like, not necessarily they would be like heroes and villains, but like the regular people doing their jobs and going around. And then like we have like the legendary characters would be like these sort of like heroes and villains and like really famous celebrities and stuff. And like let me see what I can tell you guys that wouldn't be like the role of the generatives in the city. I don't want to give up too much. What do you think? Like, what can we tell? I'm thinking, yeah.
I mean, I feel like, tell us as much that can make it make sense for everybody. People have questions that just that makes the world make sense.
Yeah, totally. So basically what we're thinking is that we'll be having a lot of like the one-on-ones aren't gonna be all the main characters aren't gonna be like one-on-ones. We'll have some of those, but we'll also have a lot of generative characters that have like major roles in the main story. So think of it like sort of like in a Boku no Hero, like a My Hero Academy scenario, like the students and the teachers would be like a mix and match of those. And also for some companies we'd have like a vibe like Shield from the Marvel universe, where you have like a bunch of characters that are main characters in their own way and have their own stories. But like you have Kato and Duma and Atticus, who are like some how do you say, some focus points on the story, but not the only ones. So we're
Right.
developing that kind of thing, and that's how we would populate the city with both, like with the three kinds and like quote unquote of people, like the generatives, the legendary characters, and also like the regular Joes of the city, like the other animals and stuff.
Yeah, and just, adding on to that, yeah, when you're walking around the streets of this city, yeah, you're gonna probably see maybe a dog who owns a bar that's gruffy
Yes,
but has no superpowers, or,
exactly. Yes.
you'll see all these folks, and it's gonna be an interesting dynamic, when you talk about I'm just a regular animal and I've got to deal with both the government, the heroes, the villains.
Yes,
Sometimes I'm a
exactly.
pawn.
Yes.
What do I do? I'm just trying to live my life and go home for Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah. Oh yeah, there was some conversation about like maybe some sort of barge or something in the center where the underwater creatures might live and
That is
party.
true. Yeah, we haven't like once we started thinking about like the legendary fish characters, and we do have like the two whales. That one is the god and one's the hero, but also uh, yeah, we were thinking about like how to actually make a. Oh, we also have the shark villain as well, but
Hmm.
then like we were thinking about, because like all the characters are anthropomorphic, right? They have like animal features, but they're also like they have hands and feet and like a very humanoid kind of anatomy. So when we were thinking about like the fish faction of the like the fish species and stuff, we were like that would be cool to have them still look like still have like gills and how do you call that thing between your fingers that when you swim, like
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
frogs
like
do.
like
So
webbed feet or whatever.
exactly, web feed, yeah. So, but then it will be cool to have some sort of, Atlantis vibe or like some kind of neighborhood or city that those characters live and, have their own like society and culture. And it would be a cool, uh, like neighboring city apart from like Genesis City, but then like that has a lot of like commercial, relationships and stuff.
Right, right.
So, so
I
yeah,
love
we're
that.
building a lot of like the whole universe. The idea is that we don't, because it's very easy when you're creating a story that you focus so much on the main characters and the main storyline that you forget there's a whole world out there, and it becomes kind of an empty story in a vacuum. And then
Oh,
when you
absolutely.
start like developing the whole world building and thinking about
Yeah.
those things, not only like heroes and villains, but also political alliances and commercial trading and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's when things start to get more real and less like uh, I don't know, less
Yeah,
isolated. Yeah, absolutely.
exactly. And I think it's important, as storytellers, that we just remember like what are the themes and what are the things we're trying to say with this particular world, and at which point you can compare a lot of the ideas and things that the community pitches back to that. And so, because so many things can fit within a world, as long as it's fitting in with the world that we're trying to create, as far as, you know, the the spirit of the space, the feeling of the creatures as they're here, the tone. If it's all fitting, then why not try it? And it
Yeah.
looks like somebody has in here the idea of like the Colossus of Rhodes or like the statues that you would see in Lord of the Rings that would its feet kind
That's
of
true. That's
on the
great.
bay.
Like some huge statues that are like monuments.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah.
I think it was who said that. Trying to scroll back up.
Yeah, same. But yeah, that
I
would
think
be
it's
great, man.
Achilles.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Oh, Kato did. Okay.
It's okay though. but yeah, that's and thinking also about the relationships between the neighborhoods and what kind of people and professions would be like predominant in each part of the city. And some I don't know, like the commercial street, you'd see a lot of like, I imagine at least like a lot of feline characters and fancy animals, like animal characters, like from quote unquote Wall Street, like those guys in suits and stuff. And then like Night Apes neighborhood, I visualize something more like
Right.
urban street fashion, like more artists like living there and doing a lot of street art. Um, and yeah, like the beach side of town, like being the buff characters, like like Banana
Right.
Man and stuff,
Right.
and people who are very tan and healthy, very much like we could have like different people, such as like comparing New York and LA a bit, but like having those coexisting and like the relationship between them
Yeah.
living so nearby would be very awesome to explore as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, the Pac-Man 808 talks about us having the mountain look like cat ears. I always think about like the concept of landmarks, kind of, if you look at it the right way, at the right angle, it looks like a tiger or it looks like a cat
Yeah.
sitting or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I
that's
think that
great.
because let's say I'm just like an ancient person trying to figure out where to settle. I'm looking for an omen, and in the right light, it looks like something that seems like it's from the gods. So I go, this is where I should found my city, you know.
Yes, yes, yeah, kind of like not like a cause and consequence, like not
Yeah,
necessarily like human, like character shapes, like things, but also like, oh, I picked this mountain specifically because it has that kind of vibe. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, we have
this.
like a mountain. We're from Rio originally, and the neighborhood we're from, which is called Barra da Tijuca, has a
Hmm.
mountain that when you look it from where we lived, like you see like a person laying down, you see the whole like the
Exactly.
head
Yeah.
profile, and then like it all extends like the whole body until like the sugar loaf is kind of like where the feet would be. And then if you
Hmm.
like go to the to other neighborhoods on the other side of that mountain giant, it doesn't look exactly like that. So like the perspective changes, so you don't see it
Changes.
exactly. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
So a couple of questions here, Gus. Maybe you answered this on another stream, but what are you using technically? Is that a Wacom tablet or?
Yeah, it's what's this? Like
Cintiq
it's a 22
22
inch
inches.
Cintiq. Yeah,
Yeah.
Very nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Gus,
I hate
Gus
it.
is using mine because the OBS
Yeah,
thing was set up in my
I hate her
computer.
Cintiq. I hate her MacBook. The shortcuts are different and very
So yeah, Gus
uncomfortable.
likes to use like smaller tablets to work with. Like he uses like the Cintiq
Yeah, it's the
one,
one.
Wacom
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
right? It's not a Cintiq.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
It's too small, but
it's a 13 inch, I
yeah,
think.
I like the 16. I think it's the best size.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great. And what
I.
what
uh,
what got you guys to leave Rio to go to where you are now?
You know, we're living in Curitiba, which is in the south of Brazil. Mostly what
Yeah,
drove us off Rio was that it was getting too violent and too expensive to live in. So
sure.
we made a decision to, you know, we're paying too much to live here and have no quality of life whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, we decided to move. Like Curitiba is like a smaller city, but also it's a big city in a way, so it has a lot of infrastructure. It's not like an interior kind of town, but it
Yeah,
is way safer. It is way more, you know, how to say,
affordable.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it has
affordable,
it's
and also like
like quality of
tranquilo.
life. Yeah,
Yeah, a lot more, you know, less rush than, you know, too
Yeah.
many people and that kind of thing like big cities suffer from.
Oh, that's
So
a
yeah.
lot of artists have been doing that too. I mean, folks I know who are moving. I live in the United States, so there's places like Asheville and places like that that a lot of
yeah,
people from New York are moving to, and
Yes.
even in New York, there's a place called Beacon that's like 2 hours north that all the artists are moving to,
Nice.
and so
Yeah, having like the opportunity, like I know it was harder, like I don't know, 15 years ago, where like the internet wasn't so evolved, and like here in Brazil we didn't have a lot of options of like working abroad and stuff. But now with the internet and like fast internet and the ability to, you know, work for everywhere in the world, like it matters more and more to, like, especially working from home, it matters more and more that you're living a, you know, good life, you know, a lot of quality of life, and not worrying about your safety all the time, and then you're able to keep working for the same clients because you do it online either way. So yeah, absolutely, that's something that counts a lot for us, and a lot of our friends are doing the same, like moving. Like we still have a lot of, like, there's Wildlife, which is a huge game company in São Paulo. We have a lot of friends that work there, but still, like, people who don't want to live in São Paulo because it's pretty much like Rio in the sense that it's like too many people, too violent, too much traffic and stuff. People are just moving to other cities, smaller cities, and like focusing on being like chill
hmm.
most of the time, and like working, yeah, for awesome, like, international companies that hire like for home office and stuff. So
Nice.
that's great that we have that chance now. It wasn't very true a while ago. Like,
That's great. That's great. I'm just going to do a little recap of what I'm seeing here. So we've got this wonderful mountain with some ancient something on the top with a looks like a monkey statue or
yeah,
something up there with the clouds. It's high enough to break the clouds, and then the villain cave layer underneath. And we drop down, and there's the main heroes something over there. Oh, we got a hero flying through the air. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right. It's
Like
too small, but yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And then we have the university. We have the fallen burnt forest to the left, and this nice docks with the ships coming in. We got Muscle Beach, the monorail that wraps the city. Yeah, this great downtown with the ropes that some apes might use to get to work faster. And then, of course, the industrial zone. This is a fantastic map that we were able to
right?
put together in 45 minutes or something. This is
Right?
incredible.
Yeah, I guess it's like he was really worried about this, but I'm like, yeah, there's no way this is gonna
I'm
look
still
bad.
worried. I'm still worried.
Yeah, this is looking fantastic. I mean, and this is great, like for showcasing a bit more of the lore and the context that we have our heroes and villains and gods in. It's really cool to be able to share that, and not only because like having the text written down is really helpful, but we do know that also there are people who are very visual learners and stuff. So yeah, this is really great to be able to show you guys that kind of thing.
Great. I'm so glad you guys invited me to the live stream today. I feel like the special guest on this visual podcast or something.
Oh no, yeah, we wouldn't do this without you because you're the lore master and you know the city better than any of us for sure. So, but the idea is to keep bringing people from our team and focus each live stream on the different kind of stuff. We did already some one-on-ones like drawn live with feedback from the community and ideas. Sorry? You change. I think you changed the brush.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
we did like a one-on-one drawn by Gus. We did Boogie. Sorry, I have to remember to call. We did a one-on-one drawn by Dewey, and we did also like as soon as we started our weekly schedule kind of live sessions, we did a showcase with all the artists, and now focusing on the story on the city we thought it was a great next step. And we have like actually a bunch of like a list of ideas. We're just figuring out like the right scheduling for
Right.
them, which would be best to come after the other. But yeah, for sure, like this is something that I was talking to Trees. I have to start doxing people, I'm sorry. But I was talking to Trees about like giving that kind of content for people to have more of a guideline to develop their own characters. So knowing more about the city, about all the context that they're living in and the kind of neighborhoods their characters could be from, that was for sure the next best thing we could do. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a meeting soon, and we also do, so we'll be wrapping up pretty soon. But
Yep. And just a PSA from the community. Someone asked Gus to hit save for them.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
did
haven't
you
saved,
save?
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, I save compulsively when I'm painting. But yeah, we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. If you guys have any last questions
Yeah.
for us
I'm done for now. Yeah, I have no idea what to do next.
yeah, we have some space there on the right, so we can like figure out something like other thing to.
That's very, very easy to solve.
Are you gonna throw a bunch of trees there?
Yep.
But yeah, if you guys have any other questions for us to wrap up before we go, and yeah, we'll be like, how big are those trees? And yeah, we'll be finishing up like we won't be like doing a very fancy painting out of this, because for the map it's cool to have like the sketch look, so I'll just probably throw in some splashes of colors to situate like I like when doing maps for games that we sometimes pick a main color for each district or neighborhood to be able to like recognize at first sight what's. Are you drawing a feet now?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
didn't you guys say something about like a huge?
No, it's a giant. Like this is too big for a statue. But yeah, like I forgot what I was saying. Like the feet throw me off like crazy right now.
The foot is like one of those, like, I don't know, Art Basel installations. It's just a giant foot.
Yeah, it reminded me of the airships from the gems on Steven Universe. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. I'm so sorry, guys. But then yeah, we'll be like sprucing up a bit the map, and then we'll provide that asset for you guys if you want to play around with it as well. Put on your characters there. Yeah, we'll be sharing that with you guys once we're finished. But yeah, we did a lot of progress for one live session. I was thinking that maybe we would need like a couple, but yeah, I guess it's like a monster machine.
Yeah, he's I bow to Gus.
You guys are too kind. I really want to send this to like an environment artist to do it properly.
Yeah, it's done properly. You have to give yourself more credit for sure.
I kind of wanted to do like a banana building, but I'm not. Maybe I can change this right here into be like
A huge banana.
yeah.
So I think that's it for our time, everyone. I wish we could go over like a couple minutes just to make up for the time we lost in the beginning with the OBS stuff. But yeah, we'll have to go because we, like, the three of us have meetings in 3 minutes. But again, thank you so much for joining us for another live session. We love creating with you guys. We love showing you what we have so far about the world and the whole universe we're creating together. And Dee, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry for
All right. No
OBS
problem.
mess in the beginning, but yeah, I'm glad we made it work. I was like freaking out.
We'll talk to you guys later, and see everybody else in the lore chat later.
Same, yeah. Thanks everyone. See you next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.
All right, peace.